Hi everyone, my name's Adrienne West and I dropped out of university in my second year because I don't give a fuck and no one can tell me what to do. No, but seriously, I made a video a couple months ago talking about why I dropped out of university. More people liked it than I would actually have expected. It's one of my first videos to get 1,000 views, but I didn't realise it was such a pressing issue for so many people because university is really far removed from my life right now. The other video was more about my experience, but this one is more about like, what do you actually do when you want to drop out? Like, how do you do it? Does leaving uni solve your problem? Short answer is no. I personally believe that any problem you have needs to be fixed internally. Hear me out, I understand it. Degrees can cause pain, degrees can cause sadness. You can do things to remove things from your external reality to improve your reality, but unless you also improve your perception alongside it, you might find that you have a similar sort of problem, but just now transferred to a new job or a different area of life.
Think of one person in your life or someone that you know. They always seem to have problems and issues in their relationships. After a while, you start to realize they are the common denominator. They're the bad vibes. They're the reason that they can't keep any friends and that all of their romantic relationships fail. That person has a certain vibe or energy that no matter what situation they're in, it's always not going to turn out well for them, which means they need to change how they operate rather than everyone else around them needing to change. The same principle applies to leaving university. You could leave university and think you're free of all of your issues and literally walk into another job that presents you with the exact same ones. It's all to do with your mindset.
How do people perceive you after dropping out of university? At the very start, I was much more sensitive to the way people perceive me. My dad was so upset. He literally stopped speaking to me for like a year. My mom, she was actually accepting of it, but she just wanted me to work when I got home. I always felt this underlying sense of like disappointment that came from like family members. However, it's different perceptions for different people. So when I would speak to other people who are currently in university or other young people, they would kind of see it as like inspirational, empowering, or like really cool because they know how it is to be in university. A lot of our parents haven't been to university, so they don't actually know, especially the mental turmoil that can happen there. So they just see it as like, oh, she doesn't know how to complete things. Whereas people who actually go to university see it as like, wow, like she actually had the courage to leave something that I'm hating right now and I don't know how to get out of. I mean, I focus on those kind of people. Anyone else who has something else to say, I would just say like, I guess you can re-enroll under my name and then complete my course for me because I won't be doing it. Did I have a plan for when I was going to leave university? And I can say, no, I didn't have a plan. I had a rough idea of what I could do to get by, such as work. But in terms of having a completely huge alternative plan that would, impress people or justify why I left university, no, I didn't have one. At first that was something I felt kind of insecure about. It's like, wow, you left, but you don't even have a plan. But then I started to realize like, I don't have to justify myself to anyone. Like, I didn't have a grand plan. And I don't think you need a grand plan. I feel like you just need conviction and courage, and then you leave. This is another question I have for some of you guys.
And by the way, I have a question, and don't fight me because I know how you girls like to tussle.
Let's be honest. Why are you taking the gap year? You're taking the gap year because you want to drop out or you're trying to buy yourself time instead of dropping out. And I said this to someone recently, and they didn't even deny it, which I really appreciate. Anything that you're thoroughly enjoying, why would you need to take a year out to have to yourself? Just be honest with yourself. You don't have to say it to me. I don't really care because I'm not in university anymore. Ask yourself, like, why am I taking this gap year? Why am I deferring a year? Why am I doing this? Shouldn't I just be dropping out? Isn't this just an indication I'm not interested in what I thought I was? And that's completely okay. Well, let's get into the advice that I actually have for you guys when you choose to drop out. Make sure you make decisions that are only taking into account yourself. No matter what people say, they're going to university because their parents didn't get the chance and they're trying to basically avenge their parents. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. This is about you. I don't believe in living your life for anyone else. I believe in helping people, but I don't believe in being indebted to your parents. Not my vibe. I feel like you should follow your God-given passion. People will be projecting their fears and their doubts onto you. I've been reading a book recently that just talks about how we should be, you know, the observer of our thoughts, to really stop ourselves getting so wrapped up and angry in day-to-day life. And I'm someone, you know, I'm quite inclined towards aggression and getting irritated and angry because I'm sensitive and all of that. So this is something that I'm really trying to embody. People can say anything they want about you dropping out. You don't have to listen to them. You don't even have to acknowledge it. Like, imagine the kind of power you hold when somebody insults you and you literally stand there like, what can they say? And it's much easier said than done. I can say it to myself. Things will hurt when they're first said to you, but if you get into the practice of just accepting that the reason why somebody might even say something like that is because they're projecting their fears, their doubts, and their worry onto you, you'll realize that the problem is never with you and it's always with them, and it's gonna help you free yourself from the shackles of what other people have to say. You should just be honest about why you left, and also don't feel the need to justify yourself. Obviously, people are going to ask you why you're not in university anymore, and it's within your rights and your boundaries whether or not you want to answer certain people in a certain way. But whatever your decision is, just be honest about it. You don't have to pretend that you're leaving because you're going to go back in a couple of years. If you don't ever want to go back, like I didn't, just say that. Because a lot of people would say, oh, it's fine, you can go back in a couple of years. I just told you that I'm leaving because I experienced immense mental turmoil. Why would I go back in a couple of years? Does that make sense? Don't feel like you need to fabricate a story as to why you left or whatever. Just be honest about it and then stand in the honesty. Anyone's reaction, like I said previously, is not your problem. I find lying quite immature. This is my life and I make my own choices, so why would I need to lie about the things that I choose to do or that I'm going to choose to do? You can do this. Whoever you are, whatever situation you're in, whether you want to leave university, whether you're not sure about your course or whatever, you can do this and just make any decision that feels right and just do not think about other people. That's my final message. Yeah, because I dropped out, guys, and I'm doing fine. Like I knew I would. I'm always fine. We're always fine in the end. No matter how much we worry and fret about what's going to happen in the future, it always turns out fine.